In the game of chess, the rook is often seen as a symbol of power and strategy, but beneath its seemingly straightforward moves lies a darker, more complex psychology. In this video, we'll explore the deeper, often hidden nature of the rook, how its influence on the board mirrors psychological tactics used in life, relationships, and power struggles. Just like a well-positioned rook, we can navigate the complexities of human interaction with precision and intent, using calculated moves to achieve our desired outcome. The rook's power is not immediately apparent as it waits in the background, quietly observing the board. It can remain dormant, often hidden behind other pieces, while other pieces take center stage. Yet, it is this very stillness that gives the rook its unparalleled strength. The key to the rook's psychological power lies in its patience. It doesn't rush, doesn't overexert itself, but instead waits for the right moment, holding its ground. When it strikes, it does so with precision, exploiting the openings that others overlook. This patient waiting game is one of the most difficult psychological tactics to master, yet it's one of the most effective. In life, we can often feel the pressure to act quickly, to make decisions in haste, but the rook shows us the power of restraint. Whether in business, relationships, or personal development, there is great wisdom in waiting for the right moment to act. This patience isn't passive, it's a strategic decision, a form of control over one's impulses. By holding back, the rook forces its opponents to make mistakes, to overreach, or to make a move they later regret. The key lesson here is not just about waiting, but about waiting with purpose. It is about holding your ground and asserting power only when the time is right. The rook's patience teaches us that sometimes doing nothing is the best move. It encourages us to resist the temptation to rush into situations, to take a step back and assess the situation fully. Just like in chess, where hasty decisions can lead to downfall, in life, rushing can lead to consequences we might regret. The rook's waiting game is a masterclass in controlling one's emotions and impulses, ensuring that when action is taken, it is done with the greatest impact. In chess, space is not just physical distance, it is power, and the rook is the piece that best exemplifies this principle. With its ability to move across long distances, controlling entire ranks and files, the rook exerts an immense psychological influence over the board. The power of the rook is not just in its ability to move quickly, but in its command over the space it controls. The presence of a rook in a long, open line is a constant reminder to the opponent that their every move is being watched, that they are always under the rook's gaze. This is a subtle but profound form of psychological control. In our own lives, the concept of space control often goes unnoticed, yet it is a tool many use to assert dominance or influence over others. The rook's psychological tactics are mirrored in how we manipulate physical and emotional space in relationships and interactions. Whether in a professional setting or personal life, the control of space can create a sense of authority, subtly influencing how others behave. Just as the rook limits the movement of other pieces, we too can establish boundaries that control how others interact with us. But space control doesn't always mean occupying the most visible position. The rook's true power often lies in the subtlety of its presence, how its control of space dictates the opponent's decisions. The rook's position in the game may often be overlooked, but once an opponent realizes the rook's power, it becomes a constant threat. In life, this mirrors the way we may set boundaries or subtly influence situations without overtly displaying our power. It's about creating a situation where others are constantly aware of our presence, even if we're not always the center of attention. The rook's control of space also teaches us the value of planning ahead. It doesn't simply move to the nearest square, it moves with foresight, always positioning itself for a larger advantage. Just as a chess player places their rook in a position to dominate multiple squares, we can strategically position ourselves in situations where we can control the flow of events. The key to mastering space control, like the rook, lies in understanding the long-term consequences of our decisions, placing ourselves in positions of power not through force, but through intelligent, deliberate choices. The rook doesn't need to move quickly to dominate the board, it simply needs to control the space around it, dictating the flow of the game. The rook's role as a silent observer is often underappreciated. While it does not engage in the immediate fray of battle, it watches carefully from its position, biding its time, studying the positions of both itself and its opponent. The rook is often on the sidelines, waiting for the chaos to subside so that it can make its decisive move. This behavior parallels a psychological tactic known as strategic detachment, where one steps back to assess the situation from a distance rather than jumping into the emotional or chaotic aspects of a situation. By remaining removed from the fray, the rook can maintain a clearer, more objective perspective, free from the biases and emotional turmoil that often cloud our judgment. In human interactions, this kind of psychological distance is immensely valuable. It allows for greater emotional intelligence and better decision-making because from a distance, it is easier to observe patterns, understand motivations, and identify underlying truths. Many successful leaders, negotiators, and tacticians understand the value of stepping back before engaging in a confrontation, much like the rook. The ability to pause, reflect, and then act strategically is often more effective than rushing into situations with heightened emotions. Additionally, the rook's detachment in the game allows it to avoid the personal involvement that might cloud judgment. It moves without attachment to any particular part of the game, its objective is clear, and its focus is on the bigger picture. This emotional distance allows it to remain adaptable, capable of adjusting its strategy without being influenced by past moves or mistakes. Similarly, in life, detachment doesn't mean lack of care. It means having the emotional fortitude to stay calm and level-headed, to make decisions not based on personal biases, but on logic and the best possible outcome. The sudden, unanticipated strike of the rook is one of the most powerful and effective moves in chess, and it draws a fascinating parallel to the psychological weapon of unpredictability. The rook, positioned strategically, can suddenly and decisively change the flow of the game. Just when an opponent believes they are safe, the rook's long-range attack comes like a bolt from the blue. The shock of its movement disrupts the opponent's strategy, causing confusion and often leading to a mistake. This is the essence of surprise, a psychological tactic that can disorient and destabilize even the most prepared individuals. In life, unpredictability often plays a key role in influencing people and situations. It's a tool used by leaders, marketers, negotiators, and even in personal relationships. The element of surprise can cause people to reevaluate their assumptions and behaviors, opening the door for new possibilities. This could mean surprising someone with an unexpected gesture of kindness to shift the tone of a relationship, or it could mean using an unexpected strategy to throw off an opponent in a business negotiation. The key to mastering this tactic is in the element of timing. The rook's strike is not random, it is calculated, taking advantage of the opponent's overconfidence or misstep. Similarly, in life, unpredictability isn't about chaos, it's about using the right moment to disrupt a situation in your favor. The rook's surprise attacks also teach us the value of patience and careful observation. Just like the rook waits for the right moment to move, we too must observe the environment and people around us. We need to watch, learn, and understand the dynamics at play before taking our decisive actions. This timing, like the rook's, is what makes the move so effective. Without it, the element of surprise loses its potency. When we know the right time to act, when we can surprise others by defying expectations, we wield the same kind of psychological power that the rook does on the chessboard. The rook's full potential is realized during the endgame, when it moves from a distant observer to a dominating force. Its role in the endgame is often a game-changer, as its ability to control long lines and coordinate with other pieces becomes vital. The endgame is where control and precision come to the forefront, and the rook becomes an instrument of calculated, meticulous planning. This is a powerful lesson in the art of long-term strategy, how every move made earlier in the game builds towards this final phase. In life, the endgame represents a time when all the pieces have been set, and now it's about executing the plan with precision. Whether in a career, personal project, or relationship, the rook teaches us how to position ourselves carefully over time so that we can achieve our desired outcome when the time comes. Like the rook, we may spend much of our time laying the groundwork, observing, learning, and setting up for the final moves. The payoff comes not in quick wins or hasty decisions, but in the long, deliberate execution of a well-thought-out strategy. In this phase, distractions and emotional impulses fall away, and all that remains is the clarity of purpose. The rook's dominance in the endgame also highlights the importance of knowing when to assert power and when to let go. It doesn't overextend itself or make moves out of impatience. Instead, it calmly and decisively moves towards its goal. This mirrors the psychological approach of control, where sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is make your moves with precision and not force. By doing so, the rook achieves its ultimate goal, the checkmate. This teaches us the importance of focusing on the long-term vision and trusting that our calculated moves will lead us to success, rather than getting caught up in momentary distractions or setbacks. The rook's role in the endgame is a reminder that true power often comes in the form of patience, strategic positioning, and control. By playing the long game, the rook shows us that the journey is just as important as the destination, and that the most powerful moves are those that are made with purpose and foresight. When we can master this art of precision, we too can navigate life's challenges with the same calculated authority as the rook on the chessboard.